What's up, guys? Justin Cappon Pro here, your startup business mentor and branding strategist. Got a great new topic for you today. Today we're going to talk about how to get customers to actually take action. I know what that feels like. You're putting out the social media content, you're creating the videos, you're doing the posts, you're doing all the things that you believe you need to be doing to create a great engaged social audience, but you can't seem to get them to your website. You can't seem to get them to join your Facebook group. You can't seem to get them to purchase your book or invest in your academy or reach out for a one-on-one phone call. How do you get them to actually take that action? That's what I'm going to be talking about today. I'm going to take you through the very specific step that a customer needs to go through in the customer journey and what it eventually is going to take them to reach out and commit to your product, program, or your service. Also, guys, make sure that you watch this video to the end because I'm going to be hooking you guys up with a spectacular freemium today. I have a training that is going to be perfect for you if you're trying to figure this thing out, and this is something that I normally charge for. Today, I'm going to hook you up with a link to get that for free, so be sure to hang out to the end to get a hold of that link so you can get the help that you need and really start closing some sales. All right, let's dive right into this. So what I'm going to be taking you through today is what I call the customer journey, and there's 6 steps that I'm going to give you today. So if you like to keep track and you like to take notes, I'm going to give you 6 specific steps, and each of these steps are absolutely crucial in the customer process. And if you try to skip any of these steps, or if your customer gets stuck on any of these steps, you will struggle to convert those social media interactions into paying clients. Let me start with number 1, which is general interest. When you're creating content, you're putting stuff out there on the web and you're engaging with your social audience, you're going to have a tremendous amount of people that are going to pass by you, interact with you, that are simply in a general interest state of mind. And what that means is that they have a need, they have a problem, they have a frustration, they have a desire, they know they need some help, but they don't necessarily have any particular person in mind that they believe that can help them. They're in a general interest state of mind. So that person might be a good fit for you, for your product, your program, or service, but they don't know you exist yet, and they don't know how you can help them. So when someone's in a general interest state of mind, they have to be found and you have to be found. So how do you engage with a general interest prospect? You create content. You have to create opportunity. That's what content is. I don't want you to view content as a check the box activity for your marketing plan or for your business. Like, yeah, I know I got to put video out there, or yeah, I got to create posts, and yeah, I got to do those things on Instagram or on Twitter or whatever. I don't want you to feel like it's a check the box activity. This is opening your door for business. This is turning on your open sign and letting people know that you are available to engage with. So creating great content is what's going to engage that general interest client and give them an opportunity to experience you. So general interest is the first stage of a customer's journey, and it's your job to put yourself in front of them so they can experience you. Now, once they've experienced you and they have a good experience with you, hopefully, that's what moves them into the second stage of the customer journey, which is curiosity. Once a social media interaction has had the opportunity to have a great social experience with you, and they realize that whatever it is that you're sharing stirs up an emotion in them based upon whatever their need or desire or want is, then they become curious. Don't we do this? We get curious, right? I mean, if you have a need, if you have a desire, if you have a frustration, if you have a pain point, and then all of a sudden you come across the perfect video or the great post or something that stirs you up and you're like, man, I needed that today. What happens? You become curious about the person or curious about the solution that person is sharing. So then I'm in this curiosity stage. I'm no longer a general interest person just passing by. Now I'm a little bit paying attention to you. I'm like, this person might actually have something that I need. Now I'm curious. So what happens in the curiosity stage is, what do? We do our research, don't we? Do you? I mean, put it in the chat stream if you do that. Whenever I'm interested, whenever I've been engaged and now I've become curious about something, the first step that I'm going to take is I'm going to do a little bit of research. This is where it becomes tremendously important for you to make sure that when people do their research on you, they're going to find what you want them to find. Now, I shared a video recently on how to grow your brand using social media, and a couple of the tips that I shared in that video are specific to helping you with your Googleability. Basically, when someone searches for you, helping them find what you want them to find rather than what Google just decides to show them. So I'm not going to go into the details of all that, but I will link that video in the description. You can check that out if you want to get more information about that one. But this becomes incredibly important because you can lose your customer right here. You might put out great content, you might have a great video or a great post, and you engage that person at general interest and you make them curious. But what happens is if they get curious and then they go to Google and they Google you and then they don't find any information about your brand or business whatsoever, you've lost them, because now they're like, oh, this person just shared a good video, but they're not really a business owner. I can't find any more information on them. And you've immediately lost that momentum. And this is where a lot of you are getting stuck, is because they can't find you when they're looking for you. So a couple quick ways that you can do that. I'm not going to expand on this real deep, but I just want you to know the first thing is social congruency, which I talked about in that video that I referenced. It's very important to make sure that you have all of your social media networks congruent with the same name, same handle, same bio, same picture. You need to give Google their best shot at showing your potential customer everything that you want them to see. And if you do not have congruency in your social networks, and if you don't have congruency in your overall message, your customer is not going to find what you want them to find. Another very powerful way to make sure that you're found when people search for you is creating a Facebook business page and having people review it. One of the things that you may not know is that when people search for you on Google, if you have a Facebook business page, that tends to be one of the #1 things that shows up at the top of search results. And when people do a Google search for you, if you have a Facebook business page that people have left reviews on, and you have, say, a 5-star rating, that will also show up in Google search results. So imagine that person comes across a great video from you, or a live stream, or a great post, and like, I think I want to do my research. Maybe your business is called 123 Consulting. They go to Google and they do a Google search for 123 Consulting, and maybe you don't have a website yet, or maybe you don't have a ton of branding done yet, but you do have a Facebook business page and you do have some reviews on there. They do that search and your Facebook page comes at the top and it says 5-star rating. Where are they at now in their curiosity? Like just a little bit of confirmation is sometimes all that they need to move into the next stage of the customer journey. So make sure that when people get into this curiosity factor, if you're going to be putting out content to attract that general interest client and stir up their curiosity, you need to make sure that you're ready for what's going to happen if they do get curious and they go out and search for you. All right, that's very, very important. So that's #2. The third one is emotional engagement. All right, once someone is curious, they've done their research, now they feel confident that you are an actual professional and you might actually be able to help them, what's going to happen is they're going to come back for more. They're going to come back to your next video, your next post. They're going to start engaging with you. And what it's going to take for you to get them down the road and keep them moving forward is to engage them emotionally. This is why you need to be so aware of the type of content that you're creating and what your mission, desire, and intent is behind that content. Write this down if you're taking notes. Emotions are the driver of business results. You have to be constantly trying to stir up people's emotions and engage them with how they feel, because feelings are what make people move forward. So if I have a great experience with you, you've pulled me out of general interest, now I'm curious about you, I go and do a little research, yeah, it looks like they got a business, even if it's a small one, I feel like they're a professional, they've got some reviews, they got some social proof. Now I'm ready to learn a little bit more and see what you're doing. So then I come into another video, and that next video just strikes me right where I'm at. And you're like, everything you're saying is the right thing, and you're really showing me that you understand me, you're demonstrating sincerity, you're showing me that you have solutions to my problems, and then you start engaging with me and you start connecting with my emotions. That's really going to pull me into you and really perk up my ears to listen to what it is that you're saying. So emotional engagement is that step 3. You've got to find a way to connect to people's emotions. And this is another reason why so many people struggle to convert social media interactions into paying clients, is because they don't go deep enough, they don't get emotional enough, they don't get real enough or raw enough, they try to stay too much on the surface, or they try to be too professional or too clean or too short or whatever, and they don't really create enough emotional draw to make that prospect really draw into you and start really believing that you're someone that could really help them. All right, so emotional engagement is the #3. And again, I want to remind you at the end of the video today, I'm going to hook you up with a sweet free resource, something that I normally charge for. I'm going to hook you guys up with a link to get this for free that is going to help you bring in these paying clients, okay? #4 is genuine connection. A genuine connection is when you genuinely engage with that person that you've already connected to emotionally. So what does that look like? So imagine that I do a great live stream and I'm sharing some great content that's really connecting with you, and you're realizing, this is my problem. I needed this information today. This is so helpful for me today. So maybe as I'm doing my video, you're interacting and you're giving me insight, you're giving me thoughts about what it is that you're learning. And then maybe at the end of that video, say, man, Justin, thank you so much for this video. I really needed it today. What I'm going to do at that point in time is I want to connect to you. Genuinely, not salesy. I want to connect you and really find out what's going on. So maybe John leaves me a message that, Justin, man, I really needed this message today. Thank you so much for the content. Then I'm going to go into that chat and I'm like, John, I appreciate you, man. Loved your interaction today. Can you tell me what's going on with you, or tell me what one of your biggest problems is that you're facing? I'd really love to know. And I want to see if I can get John to talk to me. Well, you know what? I'm really struggling with just how to get this business off the ground. I've been doing a lot of the foundation work, but I'm not getting any results, and I'm really feeling really frustrated. So he gives me some information. So then what's going to happen is I'm looking for an opportunity to genuinely connect to him and show them that I care. Not show them that I'm trying to lead him to my website or lead him to a resource. I want to genuinely show him that I care about where he's at, and I believe I can help him move forward. So I might be like, you know what, John? I can completely relate to that. Man, I remember my first year in business. I struggled in so many different ways, and I did so many things wrong. If you're interested, drop me the link to your Facebook page or tell me where you're sharing the most content. I'd love to take a few minutes just to check it out and just give you some thoughts. And I'll see if I can get him to just share with me a little bit of insight about what he's doing. And then what am I going to do? I'm absolutely going to take whatever he gives me and go look at it. And some of you guys might be like, this isn't a scalable strategy. This isn't something that I can grow massive right now. Well, listen, if you're in a position where you're even watching this video and you're trying to figure out how do you convert social media interactions into paying clients, how do I get my customers to actually take action? You shouldn't be focused on how to get your next 100. You should be focusing on how to get your next one. I just smacked someone right upside the head this morning. All right. Quality is so much more important than quantity. And what happens, what a lot of people don't get, because a lot of people, when I talk to them about how to build a great short game to lead to your long game, means how to really get one great client, how to get one new great connection, how to build one individual and one relationship at a time. And people just really don't want to commit to that work. But I promise you, if you commit to the quality relationships, the quality will bring the quantity. Your business will grow at the same pace and at the same level at which you are able to develop and grow relationships. Relationships are everything. I'm going to make a genuine connection with John. I'm going to really ask him some questions and see what I can find out from him. And then whatever information he gives me, I'm going to take time to look it up and see if I can make him a very valuable recommendation to really help him out with where he's at. Another thing that I believe wholeheartedly, guys, in this process is that I believe I need to be investing in my audience long before I can expect them to invest in me. What does that mean? Doesn't mean that I need to be investing money in you, but it does mean that I need to be investing time and energy and resources and wisdom and guidance into you, because I believe if I pour into you now, you'll return to me later and you'll see that I'm someone that is really willing to commit to you and I'm not just after your money. I believe wholeheartedly that if you serve effectively, the sale will happen naturally. And that's how you build a magnetic brand and a magnetic business that attracts paying clients with ease, so you don't have to go out chasing people. So genuine connection is number 4. Number 5 in the 6-step customer journey is offline conversation. At some point in time, you have to learn to take the social media interaction offline and stir up a real conversation with them that's out of the online space. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to interact with John, maybe in this post or in this comment or in this video, wherever he engaged with me in his general interest stage. And I'm going to try to stir him up a little bit, get him to give me some information. And then eventually there's going to be a point where he's going to share enough information with me where I feel like I can comfortably take the conversation offline. And then what I'll do is I'll grab my phone and I'll go into Messenger, Facebook Messenger. I use Facebook Messenger for a tremendous amount of different things. If you're not currently using Messenger, I highly recommend it. So what I'll do, once I feel like I've established some good rapport with John, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into Messenger. I'm going to go and send him a voice message. This is an example of what I'd say. I'd be like, John, what's up, man? This is Justin Cappon. Listen, I appreciate you. First of all, thank you so much for joining in my video. I loved the interaction. I love the value that they brought to the room. It really means a lot to me as a content creator to have people like you that support me and engage with me and really engage with my content. So first of all, I want to let you know I appreciate you. Secondly, thank you so much for just being real with me and tell me what's going on. It took some time to check out your Facebook page and look at the content that you're sharing on YouTube. I've got a lot of ideas for you. I think you're doing a lot of things right, but I feel like there's a couple things, if we just improved it a little bit, it would tremendously impact the results that you're getting. If you're interested, man, I'd just love to chat with you, give you some of the ideas that I have. There's a lot of things that I did early on that I did right and a lot that I did wrong. I'd just love to share some of those things with you, see if we can help you get some more results. Is that something that you'd be interested in? Send. Now, key point here. I ended the conversation with an open-ended question. I ended the conversation with, is that something that you would be interested in? If you're taking notes, write that down, because I could do that completely differently. I could be like, John, listen, man, I did a lot of things right when I first started, did a lot of things wrong. If you're interested, let me know if it's something that you'd like to chat about. I'd love to give you some ideas and see if we can help you. That's different, right? Because what happens at the end of that conversation, you don't feel obligated to answer. You might see that message or hear that message and be like, that's cool, that's nice. Well, I'll think about it a little bit. Maybe I'll get a hold of Justin next week. And you might be like, thanks, I appreciate that. But you don't feel obligated to respond. But if I end that conversation with, is that something that you'd be interested in? I just made a very genuine, very sincere offer to you, and then I'm asking you a question. And now if you don't answer that question, you're gonna feel like a jerk. Aren't you? I mean, but that's the point. It's because you want to ask it in a way and present it in a way that they're like, yeah, you know what, I love it. And I know that that's true because every single time that message, I get a positive response from it. I have never had anybody ignore that message, and I've never had anybody say no when I send that message, right? It's highly effective. That's how you get people to an offline conversation. Now, I've had experiences where people will be like, Justin, man, I so appreciate that offer. I don't feel like I'm at a time right now where I might be ready for that call. I want to be more thorough. If I was going to have a call with you, I want to make sure I'm prepared for that. So could we do this in a month? Or could we do this at the end of the summer? I feel like at that point in time, my head will be right. I'll be more prepared, and I really want to make sure that I leverage the time with you. I'll be like, absolutely, totally get it. Can I put it on our calendar to meet on October 1st, just to put a date out there? And I'll still try to get a commitment from them. Absolutely, let's plan on that, and then we can check in as we go along. So just because people always respond positively doesn't mean that they're always going to schedule immediately. You may need to take some time, but you kind of got to read those people. If you see someone that's just pushing it off, like someone says, well, let me kind of check my schedule and see what I got available. I got a lot going on. They're trying to push me off. And so I might say, all right, cool, totally get it. Just in general, are there days that are better for you than others? And see if I can commit them to a time. Yeah, you know what? Tuesdays are better for me than others. Cool. If you're interested, we can plan for next Tuesday. That's a great day for me. I got a lot of openings. What's a good time for you during the day? And they might give me time. But if I ask a couple different ways and they constantly are pushing off, they're not ready. And that's totally fine. And so you don't want to keep pressuring them to try to get them to the call. If I give them 2 or 3 different options and they're like, yeah, you know, I'm just not sure yet if they're trying to push me off, I'm good. I don't chase people, all right? But you do want to give them the opportunity to realize that you are here to help, and it would be your pleasure to connect with them and give them some ideas on how they can be better with whatever it is they're trying to do, okay? So that's number 5, is offline conversation. Now, when you get to number 6, this is the tough one. Number 6 is irresistible recommendation. You have to be able to give that person an irresistible recommendation based upon what their struggle is and how you believe you can meet them where they are and provide a great, valuable product, program, or service to meet their need. Now, there's a couple different angles of this last point. First of all, you can't go through all of these steps if you don't know what your end is. You've got to have an offer in mind already. So I'm not going to try to work through all of these steps unless I know specifically what it is that I really want to try to lead these people to. What is your signature offer? What is the most valuable thing that you do? For me, my signature offer is a signature branding package. It is the most valuable thing that I do. It's what about 85% of my clients have invested in. It's the primary program that I've had the entire time that I've been in business. It's my baby. It's my backbone. There's a lot of other things that I do, but my signature branding package is my core service. It's the most recommended thing that I provide to people because it does everything that you need and nothing that you don't to build a profitable and sustainable business in the online space today. So I know what my end in mind is, and I know how to thoroughly communicate that. But the trick is, once you get people to commit to a phone call, before you can make them an irresistible recommendation, you have to handle a prospect phone call. And this is where a lot of people struggle. How many of y'all would be honest with me today and give me a number on a scale of 1 to 10 on how comfortable you are with a prospect phone call? Put it in the chat, will you please? If you're a 10, say, Justin, I'm a 10. Man, I could teach this topic. I could probably do it better than you. I could sell that shirt right off your back right now. That would be a 10. A 1 would be like, there's no way I could get someone on the phone with me. A 5 would be like, I feel like I know a lot of the right things to say, but I always struggle to get them out. Or maybe you feel like you've got a good process for your phone call, but you can never get people to convert. 8 might be up on the scale where you're like, I feel like you got a lot of things right, but I still feel like I could be better. 3 or 4 might be like, man, I feel like I'm doing it all wrong and I have no idea what happens, and it's so uncomfortable. So if you're trying to turn social media interactions into paying clients, you've got to learn how to handle a prospect phone call. Now, I'm going to hook you up with a free resource today. I have a process that I've created for myself called Master Your Call. And this is a step-by-step guide, a step-by-step walkthrough for exactly how to handle a prospect phone call from beginning to end. In this process, I cover the 3 crucial stages of a prospect phone call and how to transition those calls through each of those stages seamlessly. I cover how to confidently lead your prospect through the call and get them to let their guard down to you. I cover how to eliminate every objection before they even bring those objections up. I cover how to easily get them to admit their problems to you and how to perfectly align your offer with the greatest needs that they have. I cover how to get them to ask you how they can work with you and be fully prepared to listen to that recommendation that you want to give them. And if that's not enough, I also cover how to handle the money conversation, how to get them to commit to a next step, and what absolutely must happen as soon as you hang up the phone. This training is an absolute essential if you have a business that requires you to close on the phone. These are my secrets, this is my system, and it makes me and my clients all over the world a lot of money every single year, right? This is an absolute no-brainer. I normally charge for this training, but not today. I'm going to hook you guys up with it for free. All I need you to do is put yes please in the comments. If you're on Facebook, put yes please in the comments. If you're on YouTube, put yes please in the comments of the video, and I'm gonna respond to you and hook you up with that link to get access to that training, because it is an absolute game changer and I want to help you. All right, so drop a yes please in the comments if you want to get a hold of that. That is your 6 steps of the customer journey. Hopefully that was helpful for you today. This is exactly how you get customers to take action, and if you can apply these steps and the actions that are necessary from you with each of these steps, it'll absolutely improve your ability to attract high-paying clients. All right, that's what I've got for today, guys. Hopefully that was helpful for you. If you enjoyed that video, I would love for you to smash that like button. Certainly subscribe to the channel if you have not already done so. Guys, drop me some comments down below and let me know your thoughts on this video today. I appreciate you. I know your time is valuable, so I'm going to get out of here. Guys, take care, God bless, and I'll see you around the web. All right, see you guys later.